Good morning. This is KELOLAND On The Go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
An arrest has been made after graffiti was reported at the Redfield School last week. The Spink County Sheriff's Department says it happened at 7 o'clock Friday morning. Video from the Redfield School District showed someone run up to the school activity doors, spray paint them, and leave.
During the investigation, authorities learned that a pickup had a tire slashed and was also graffitied. 3 other vehicles also had tires slashed. The total amount of damage done is estimated between $2,500 and $3,000. Authorities say the names of those involved will not be released. Investigators in northwest Iowa are looking into what sparked a fire north of Hospers over the weekend. The Sioux County Sheriff says it happened at a hog confinement just after 9:30 Sunday morning. Crews from Sheldon, Alton, Granville, Boyden, and Orange City were called in to help.
Authorities shared these pictures of the scene. You can see part of a wall was removed from the building. Firefighters were also seen using some equipment to help spray water into the ceiling. No pigs were lost in the fire, but the building received about $50,000 worth of damage. Meanwhile, construction on the new parking garage at the Sioux Falls Regional Airport will impact drivers and travelers at the airport this week. Crews are building a skywalk from the new parking garage to the airport terminal.
JC Lane, which includes a departure drop-off lane, will be closed from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wednesday. All traffic will be rerouted through the parking garage.
Now let's get a check of our forecast with meteorologist Scott Munt. A chilly start to the week and some snow out there, Scott.
Yeah, some snow, heavy at times in south central South Dakota. That is something that is continuing through the morning hours. I do want to start with our winter live cam, as you do see that heavy snow continuing this morning, and it is piling up. We do have winter weather advisories in south central South Dakota into western KELOLAND. Visibility down to a half mile this morning. In fact, we do have no travel advised in south central South Dakota, and that goes from near Winter all the way to the west to Martin as the snow is continuing this morning, and we have those reduced visibilities. Temperatures today, later this afternoon, cloudy skies, numbers only in the 30s and 40s for highs. We do slowly warm as we do get into the rest of the work week. More details on your forecast with Brian coming up.
Thank you, Scott. Avera is launching a new type of reconstructive breast surgery in Sioux Falls. While the surgery has been around for a few years, women had to go down to Louisiana to get the procedure.
And while it's not a life-saving procedure, it's one that's very important to some breast cancer patients.
I know a lot of women who have breast cancer have a double mastectomy and they're fine with that, and that's just how they are. But for me, it was a little, I didn't enjoy it. I wanted to be normal, so it played a lot on my emotions.
3 women have received the breast reconstruction surgery since January. Doctors say if you're interested in the option, ask your surgeon if it's right for you. Staff at the St. Francis House worked to give out Easter baskets to the community, along with a little help with the Citibank volunteers.
Staff sent out 325 baskets to local nonprofits, as well as guests at the St. Francis House and families at the next door church, Our Lady of Guadalupe. CEO Julie Becker says it's heartwarming to see all the children's faces light up when they get a basket.
It's everything. It's when our guests get to see that someone went that extra step to make sure that they can give a gift to their child on Easter. It's so fun to see the kids walking up to the house to pick up an Easter basket that is lined up outside.
Students with the University of Sioux Falls Choir also helped pack half of the baskets. And that's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, one of our top headlines this morning, the road reports coming in here across south central KELOLAND. No travel advised around Winter to Mission to Valentine, extending to Martin. Be very careful. There's been some very heavy wet snow banding the last few hours in this area. Of course, we're dealing with overnight temperatures that have been right near or just below the freezing mark. Now, during the course of the day part forecast, we're going to continue to add up some more snow. I put in a couple of things here. The general rule on the modeling is 3 to 6 in this area, but local totals over that. It's early April. This is notorious, a situation like this where we get these very focused bands of heavy wet snow, and it really picks on Tripp County and Todd County in particular. So I want to make sure we're clear about that. going forward the next few hours, as these road reports have been pretty poor. We'll use that word. 31 in winter. There's the camera view. You can see all the snow you got to scrape off the windshield this morning. And again, no travel advised in that area. Sioux Falls has been much different. It's been raining this morning. Our temperature here as of the 7 o'clock hour holding at 37. New rain total, about 500s, but we're going to add to that off and on throughout the day today. In fact, our precipitation forecast that runs through 7 p.m. this evening, generally along in south of Interstate 90 is where our amounts are heavier. And you bet, where we're picking up that heavy wet snow, we're better than a half an inch of liquid precipitation. If you melt that down, Yankton to Sioux Center should do better than a half an inch of rain today. So definitely noteworthy there. The amounts really cut off north of Brookings. Rapid City over the weekend predicted some moisture values to be heavier there, and indeed we've picked up over half an inch of precipitation, most of that snow. And it's still snowing this morning. So those advisories will run their course here through the late morning, and then those should be dropped. The South Central continues the headlines into the afternoon as we pick up the additional snowfall there. Thankfully, not a tremendous amount of wind with it. That is helpful. I know these kind of systems can be tough on the cattle farmers and ranchers dealing with those young livestock this time of year. Moisture values, though, are definitely there. We're going to pick up those 30s. Our day part forecast is low 30s from Winter to Chamberlain. Sioux Falls, we still have a window of time where we can convert to some wet snowflakes in here, but I still think we'll end up closer to 40 today. The Northeast, now Aberdeen, that's a different story. We've had a little bit on radar trying to go this direction, but it's getting undercut by that dry air moving in from Fargo, and that's the same thing in Watertown. So we're not really picking up on a lot of moisture tallies this direction, and I do think that these roads in the North Central will improve as we go through the afternoon and this system dissipates. We'll lose a lot of that moisture overnight tonight. I think tomorrow the wind will take over from the northwest. We'll try to bounce back in the 50s with all that wind, and there may be some instability, snow showers or rain showers in western Minnesota tomorrow. That's that little thin line of the yellow and orange you see there on Futurecast. If you get underneath a couple of those, you might get some snow pellets that'll be wisped around by that stronger northwest wind. Well, keep an eye on radar today. Of course, you've got all those tools at KELOLAND.com and on our Storm Tracker app, which, by the way, has a few new improvements. So make sure you get the latest version of that on your mobile device. 39 our temperature today in Mitchell, 37 in Chamberlain. Your 7-day forecast. Can we find spring? Absolutely. We've got 50s coming. In fact, we're going to rise into the 60s by the end of the work week. And then, as Grandma says, and Scott Munt did this story last week, you know that old adage about the rain on Easter? If it, rains on Easter, supposedly, do we get rain in the cycle, the 7-day cycle? Well, the next system's going to come right in Saturday night into Sunday. We'll see if that continues the rest of the month of April, but it looks like this weekend, pretty good bet. We're going to deal with some precipitation and windy weather across most of the entire upper Midwest and northern plains, but it'll be pretty mild. More likely it'll be rain versus snow this go around, and those chances exist all the way to the Black Hills, where before that gets here, we're going to climb to 70 by Thursday and Friday in Rapid City. Check out the latest details online at KELOLAND.com.